friends, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Today I have a practice for our low back. So if you find your low back feeling a little sore or achy at any time, especially if you sit a lot or you work on your feet a lot, either, this is a great practice just to take a few moments for yourself and hopefully feel better. So to get started, we're just going to take a few moments, come to seated, and find what feels comfortable in your body. As always, if you'd like to sit in a chair instead or on a couch or somewhere up a little, please go ahead and find your way there. When you're there, we're going to really ground down into our hips and our sit bones, making sure that our foundation is strong. Our hands can be gently placed onto our laps. We're going to start by taking our first inhale and opening our arms up wide and overhead. And then we're going to climb a rope. So we're going to reach with one hand as the other arm bends and just lean side to side. Remembering your inhale and exhale here. Really reaching long like you're trying to reach towards something. Stretching alongside that back. Hopefully immediately you feel it in your low back muscles or at least along the side of the body. Just take a moment to notice where you feel it. And if it's not a super intense feeling, no worries. All of our bodies are different. So just reaching here. The next time you reach to the left, we're going to stay there and drop that left hand to our right knee. We'll twist gently to the right. So our hand will come behind us. Our fingers can be tented or on the ground or a block to lift the ground up to us. And our gaze will be turned over our right shoulder. As best we can, we want to keep our spines long, rooted up towards the sky, lengthened up towards the sky, and come to our breath here. Just holding this pose. It's so good to move our spine in all directions, and all these muscles are interconnected in a lot of different ways, and so it's just good to move. Take an inhale here and an exhale. And on your next inhale, we're going to keep our left hand where it is and turn our torso gently towards center and bring our right arm up and over. So we're sort of getting a side body bend here while also twisting. Remembering to keep that right shoulder rolled down onto the back. Doesn't matter how far you go. Just go so that you feel the stretch in whatever parts of your body that you feel it. Take an inhale here. And exhale, we're going to bring that arm down. And we're going to release both and bring them in front of us. And just bow forward. So let your hands rest on the ground. Let your torso come forward as far as it will. And we're just going to let it round towards the ground. You might be feeling it around your sit bones and those muscles. You might be feeling it in your low back or your shoulders or your neck. Let it be felt wherever you are feeling it. Take an inhale here and an exhale. And then inhale, we'll walk our hands gently back towards center. And we're going to take it to the other side. So again, we'll start with climbing rope just because that feels good usually. We'll bring our arms out to the side as we inhale and up and just climb our rope again. Leaning as far to each side as feels good for you. Maybe you want to look up, and always remembering to come back to your breath here. The next time you reach up with your right hand, take a grab and then bring it to your left knee, and we're going to twist to the left. Taking just a moment here, coming to our breath, softening our eyes or closing them down. Take one more breath cycle here, inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, keep your right hand where it is And lift your left arm up and over, coming into a side body stretch twist. So feeling where you're feeling that in your body. We don't want to pull so hard that our knee lifts. Really, it's just there for some leverage. Remembering to release in other areas of the body, the jaw, the brow. Take an inhale here. And exhale, we're going to release that left hand and release the right hand and bring them both in front of our bodies as we bow forward. Remembering to keep contact with the earth, with the sit bones. Just letting yourself hang forward here. If this doesn't feel good in your knees, you can also open your legs and widen them. Take an inhale and exhale here. On your next inhale, walk your hands back towards your body. We're going to bring our right leg out to the side, keeping our left leg tucked in. If you need to press your foot away from your body a little to extend the angle on that left knee, please go ahead, especially if your knees feel a little sensitive. Our right leg is going to be out to the side. I'm going to give you a couple options here. If you have yoga blocks or a box or something that you can stack, it's always nice to have that on the side here. But what we're going to do, I'll show you first, and then you choose what works best in your body. We're going to find a place for our right elbow, and we're going to be leaning off to the right-hand side. And we're going to be bringing our left arm up and over to kind of relax. You can bring your head towards your hand. If your elbow doesn't quite reach your leg, or you can stack your blocks a little bit higher, so to make the angle a little bit less severe. So you choose what works best for you. We want to open our shoulder up as much as we can, and we're leaning towards the right here. Remembering to keep the spine long as much as we can. We don't want to crunch too much in that right side, but we want a nice stretch along that left side, getting into the low back here. So taking some deep inhales and exhales here. Really relaxing into this pose while still engaging. If this is too much, you can release your left hand, let it hang over your right, opening up towards the sky. You can bring it to the back of your neck if you'd like. Lots of options here. Take 2 more breath cycles here, inhaling and exhaling. And there's no rush. Take your time. Allow your breath to be the guide. Whenever you're ready, on your next inhale, we'll lift up. Maybe you want to take a stretch towards the sky, or some of that climbing the rope again. And we'll bring our hands down. We're going to take it to the other side. Take your blocks, your box, whichever you have available to you. Or maybe you're just chilling on your leg, and switch sides. So we'll tuck our right leg towards center, maybe bring our foot out a little bit, and our left leg will be out. Notice if this side is different. So maybe you try the same setup to begin with, but maybe you're able to go deeper or need a little bit more support. See what happens. So find a spot for your arm. We'll inhale and bring our right arm up and over, and right away I'm going to bring mine to the back of my head and just take a nice little side body stretch here. You can also have it hang over. Turning the chest slightly towards the sky. If your shoulders are really tight or your hips, that might feel really hard. So as long as you're not feeling any pain, just feel it where you're feeling it and let yourself be there. We never want any pain, but there might be a little bit of discomfort as our muscles start to stretch. Staying here for several breath cycles. Take one more breath cycle here, inhaling and exhaling. Make it count. Take a deep inhale. Slow down your exhale. Now your next inhale, we're going to lift our arm up. If you want to stay in that pose for longer, please feel free to do so. Maybe you want to give your spine a little twist side to side, or again, climb the rope just to unfurl everything. And we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So just for our last poses here, just to get into the low back a little bit more, we'll come to tabletop, our hands directly underneath our shoulders, our knees directly underneath our hips, and we'll just take some cat-cow. So as we inhale, we'll arch the back, opening the belly and lifting the head and the hips up towards the sky. We'll round in, rounding the chin to the chest, the hips towards the ground, pouring out here. Inhaling as we open, exhaling as we round in. Your toes can be tucked or untucked, whichever feels best for you. And just really taking the time in each of these poses to get into all of those nooks and crannies of the muscle. So if you want to stay and hold, maybe you want to hold here. Maybe you want to hold as you open. You choose. Take one more round here, just finishing up. As always, you're welcome to go on your own if that feels good. And coming back towards tabletop, towards center. This time we're going to go side to side. So this might feel a little weird if you've never done it before. In cat-cow, we're used to opening and closing. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to leave our hands and feet where they are, and we're going to kick our hips out to the side as our head comes to the opposite side. So I'm kicking my hips to the left and my head is moving towards the right. As we come back towards center, we'll inhale and exhale. Our right side of our hips goes towards the right side of the mat. Our head goes towards the left. And then we switch sides. Inhaling as you come towards center and exhaling as you move to the side. I invite you to move slowly here. We tend to move really fast in Western culture. I know for me, my yoga practice has helped me slow down and move at my natural pace. Our breath can be the best guide for that. Our breath, our natural breath, is often a great way to gauge how fast we should be moving in our poses. So just moving side to side here. Notice where you're feeling it. Usually for me, this gets really nicely into the upper hip part right below the low back and into the low back. And then come towards center. We'll take our last pose, Balasana, our child's pose, and you choose what feels good in your body. So welcome to sit your hips back towards your heels here and lower your forehead towards the ground, or option to keep your toes together and knees wide, and then sit your hips back. So if you need a little bit more room for your body, I always welcome you to widen your knees. And then bring your head towards the ground. Taking a moment here in child's pose. If you want to add anything to help your practice be a little bit more gentle, please do. You can place a block in between your hip or your thighs and your legs. You can place something underneath your head to bring the ground up to you. Take a few moments here just to learn what your body needs in this moment, and know that it changes often. When you feel ready, go ahead and lift up and press into your hands and your knees. Kick your feet and knees out to the side, and we'll come back towards seated. So go ahead and take a few moments just to notice how your body feels. How does your low back feel after that? If you notice a lot of difference, I'm so glad. If not, maybe try holding some poses for a little bit longer or resting. Rest always helps. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your practice with me. May you be well.